Don't be intimidated. You're good.
Oh, I'm not. Takes more than that.
Thank you.
Cut that. Get that out of there.
No free press.
That's right. New York est une équipe avec beaucoup de talent et pour nous, chaque match, la priorité sur le process et pas seulement sur le outcome maintenant.
You're saying that it's not all about the process. It's not only about the outcome, it's about the process. So what do you think of the game today? Is there something positive you can take from this game?
Yeah, there's lots of positives from today. Truly was amazing. Our PK was great. Our power play had good looks. I thought we gave away the second period, so we basically wasted 20 minutes of the game. And, we talk about it a lot. When you play for Montreal, you're expected to know a lot. You're expected to play with structure. And we gave up on our structure in the second period. And once we got back to that, I felt like the tides were kind of pushing in our favor a little bit more. So, it's all a part of it. It's a part of learning how to push through in moments where the puck is just not rolling across that line for you. And with that, I thought, especially after that 2-on-1 with Pooh and Stace, I love the way those two players handled that. They could have been pissed, devastated, frustrated, and we were like, we're going to get the next one. No worries. So there was a lot of things that I liked about our process tonight, aside from the second period.
And in that second, was it just a matter of adjusting to Katie's absence, or do you feel you guys were just outworked?
I don't know if it was outworked. I think we didn't take the risks that we would have liked to take playing with 5D. There's a bit of management that has to happen there in terms of, maybe less aggressive plays from our D. In terms of keeping pucks in, maybe we'll live with a puck in the neutral zone if it means that we can play below their goal line versus trying to keep a puck in that could be 50-50 and having to back check an odd man rush against. So I just didn't think we managed that well as a collective in the second period.
Second period you're talking about, was that a carryover from that late goal they scored?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't have the stats on that.
You've been trying different lines over the last few years. A few years too. I was going to say 2 weeks. For to find a way maybe for the second, third, and fourth line to put some goals in, and it's not working. Are you expecting more from some players, and how do you explain that the fact that it's not working, no matter what lines you're trying?
Yeah, 100%. We're diving in. We're doing what we need to do in terms of a coaching staff, and at the end of the day, the players have a great opportunity to take a spot, to run with it, and they're not.
Do you think there's just a general lack of confidence, maybe, in the team?
You might have to ask them.
You're about to leave, I don't know when exactly you're going to leave for Czechia. I'm curious to have your state of mind about this team, because you said a couple of times in the last week or so that this is your priority, and you don't necessarily like to go away from the team. What will you be thinking? How will you be thinking about the team when you're away?
I'm always thinking about our group in Montreal, and we mentioned it in the room, like the work that we put in here while the international players and the staff are away is going to be integral to the success we have when everybody comes back together. We all have to be getting better together, and that's where our priority is as a coaching staff. In terms of coaches, we have a great staff here that will be running the sessions while I'm away, and You know, I have no doubt, no fear that they're gonna get the reps that they need and continue to push forward into playoffs.
What is it about New York that gives you guys difficulties? It's 3 games now, you've lost them 2 at home in regulation. What is it about what they do that?
I think tonight they just clogged the house, blocked a lot of shots. You know, it's a 1-goal game. It could go either way. I think that they probably won the net front battles more than we did. So, you know, that's it.
You were talking about getting better as a team.
Yeah.
Is there like one specific aspect that maybe worries you the most ahead of the playoffs? Like that you think about it like maybe more often and you're hoping that it gets better in the playoffs?
No, I mean, we need to score goals. But you could probably ask that just directly.
Yeah, I could.
Instead of, you know, around the bush there. Yeah, we need to score goals, and it's not a secret. It's not a surprise.
Coach, if you could give your team a grade like ABCD on managing frustrations, whether it comes with calls or lack of shots on net or generating offense, how would you grade them over the past couple games?
I would say earlier on it was probably a C, and now we're closer to a B plus because we've talked about it. Yeah.
Do you expect more punishment for Taven after the break, suspension, or?
I haven't rewatched it, so I don't know. And it's a toss up.
Sorry. How do you feel about where your team is right now and the timing with the Wolves? Like, how do you feel about the timing, and do you feel like you'll have enough time after the break to find a solution to make sure you're not going to be at the same stage you were in the playoffs last year?
I mean, I feel like you guys asked me this question like 3 or 4 times in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, but you played a few games now. The fact that tonight it didn't work, and again, like maybe today, if you would have won 3-0,
Yeah.
and a goal from Maureen O'Neill and everything,
Yeah.
I guess the vibe in the locker room and the way you feel about the team would have been different.
No, my vibe in the locker room is I celebrated so many positive things. And I think that's what like we need to focus on a little bit instead of being negative all the time. It's constant.
Our questioning?
Yeah. Like the room, the vibe in the room, we, you know, Gardner misses an empty net on a 6-on-5, we lift her up. We don't take her down. Our PK was amazing. Truly was amazing. Our power play had great looks. That's what we're celebrating in the room. We're not down on ourselves because that room and that locker room is really, really special. And there's really great things that are happening in that dressing room. So no, the vibe is not where it is. Do I hate to lose? 100% I hate to lose. So that's where my mood is at right now. But in terms of being proud of that team, it's through the roof. So I hope when they come in here that maybe you guys could celebrate some of their positive things. It would be nice.
Oh, of course, that's what we've been doing the whole time. The whole season, I guess, but part of the job. And you know what, Cory, just to add something, maybe sometimes the words, we have sometimes the same problem that maybe the vibe is not the right word, but maybe in French I would have used a different word, just so you understand, like nothing negative or bad about your reality.
Okay.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Aaron, I'd like to, as a D standpoint, the fact that you had to play 2 periods without Katie, can you describe how you had to adjust for she was thrown out of the game?
It's an adjustment, obviously, that has to be made on the fly. I think if you ask any of us, we've probably been in that situation numerous times throughout our careers, whether it be injuries or something like that happened today. I think the biggest thing wasn't that we had to play with 5D, it was losing tapes. That's a big goal that we lost, and It's unfortunate, but that's part of the game of hockey. And honestly, I thought the five of us were rolling pretty good. And it's a fun group to be a part of, and I thought we did a great job with what we could do.
What happened in the second for you to be, I don't know if outplayed is too big of a word, but what happened from your point of view there in the second?
What'd Corey say?
Corey wasn't pleased.
I wasn't mic'd in, I didn't have the live feed. I thought it just was little turnovers. Obviously, Julie kept us in it. And Julie's been doing an unbelievable job since Anne went down, even before that. But the big saves after big saves that Julie's making, that's what a goalie needs to do, and she's been doing that for us. She gave us a chance to be in that game. Second period just was a crummy one. You want to wipe it, and I thought we did a really good job of coming out in the third and kind of turning the tides.
Kristen, how is it maybe tough for you for a player with your experience and the way you're used to be contributing offensively? The fact that right now it's not really working. Corey was saying that she's working with you and she's helping you maybe find the right combination. How do you manage this situation? And you're not the only one. Corey was just saying that a lot of players are looking for a way to put some goals in right now.
Yeah, I think, as a player who wants to contribute and, I want to help the team in any way I can, I think it is a mentally challenging situation, but that's what practice is for. And I have a lot of great resources around me, great teammates, to ask questions to and lean on for support. So I think, tidying up things in practice, leaning on teammates, asking questions, coaches is the best situation for me right now.
We're talking yesterday after practice with Erin about the weird timing with the Worlds right now, but you feel like maybe it could be a good thing for you to maybe have this break and go play with Canada before the playoffs? How do you see it?
Honestly, anytime I can put the Canadian jersey on is an honor, and I'm always just as excited, whether it be in November, January, whatever month it is right now. So I think, anytime's a great time to wear that jersey. So.
Yesterday you said that for you, you put as much importance, maybe I didn't understand well, but to the World Championship as well as to the team here. The schedule is, it being what it is, would you wish to be able to play another game with the team and get back on the winning track instead of having to wait until April 26th to play your next game?
I think anytime after a loss you want to play a game right away. Whether it be going into a break, whether it be just after a loss, you want to get back out there as soon as you can. So I think yesterday you guys were asking a bunch about the timing of the tournament and everything, and the timing of the tournament is the same as it was yesterday. So we knew going into the game, win or lose, that it was going to be our last one. So I think that's one thing. And I just wanted to say that I think the last time you guys kind of questioned me or called me out on my lack of production, I turned around and had a bunch of points in a few games. So Kristen, it's coming for you next. So
That was a strategy like that.
Yeah.
To both of you, maybe Corey just didn't like our line of questioning, I guess, about the inconsistencies of the team and the results, and she went to bat pretty hard for you guys. So you personally, what's your feeling of where this team is at now with 3 games left in the schedule, and like I said, the inconsistencies in the results lately as the playoffs are approaching?
You want to go first?
I can go first.
I know you were first in the standings and maybe we're overreacting a bit, or not seeing
Media
enough.
overreacting. Wow, no, it happens. It's your job, right? And I think, yeah, we would love to win in regulation every single time. We would love to play perfect periods, but it's the game of hockey, and I'd rather the inconsistencies come now than later on, than in playoffs. Like, the great thing is about our break is we come back and we have 3 games still to get revved up and ready for playoffs. We've clinched playoffs. We have an X beside our name. We're the only team that has that going into the international break, and that's something that we take a lot of pride in. But at the same time, like, we know that there's a lot that we can build on with those 3 games after break and going into playoffs. I think inconsistencies are things that, yes, you see, but they're also huge opportunities for you to improve and make those inconsistencies disappear when it matters most.
You're professional, so I don't want this to come off as like offensive or anything, but having clinched a playoff spot, you see it on the men's side in all sports really, but having clinched a playoff spot, does that kind of change the way, I mean, you came up against a team tonight who is playing extremely desperate and has a very small percentage of making the playoffs, but they're making every percentage that they have count. But so having that spot clinched, does that sometimes in the back of your mind take the foot off the gas pedal a little bit?
I mean,
We talked about it in the car today.
We did talk about this. I mean, you can't replicate desperation, even if you want to, I think. It is hard playing teams with that mentality, but I think, you know, we also have a confidence in us, and confidence sort of is our mentality. We are at the top of the standings, and we try to use that every game. And I mean, yeah, it might have not worked on the scoreboard tonight, but again, we're confident in the group, and inside the locker room, we're consistently confident. So
It sounds good you guys are seeing a little bit of adversity before the postseason. Like, what have you learned about your team through this little stretch of adversity?
We have fun. Honestly, it's, yeah, hockey is fun, and it's such a great dressing room. And I think we're learning a lot about how everybody ticks and how everybody works and how they, I guess, react when some adversity hits. And those are things that, like we just said, you can't really replicate the desperation. You can't always replicate how somebody's going to react to adversity until you hit the adversity. So again, like, yeah, it's good for us to hit this and go through this and learn some things instead of finding out in playoffs that some people react certain ways and then we don't know how to do it. Like, now we have the ability to lean on people and lift people up and learn how to do that. And I think that that's something you can't fabricate.
Corey mentioned the process and how the process is positive for you guys, even if the results are not there. You know, she also called the 3 games you guys played in the playoffs, your best 3 games of last season. How do you balance the positives of that with the reality that, you know, if the results aren't there, if the goals don't go in, that, you know, your season, you know, the results matter just as much?
I mean, I think you can look at it collectively and individually. I mean, definitely reflecting on where you could have been better individually, and then collectively, you know, our coaches do a great job analyzing the game and getting back to us with those key elements, and that's what we practice. So I think, I mean, as a group, we do very well at preparing for the next game. So I think, yeah, again, it's an individual and collective process that we prepare for differently.
And I think too, like, the process is so important because you could go out and play a perfect game and it's hockey and that could end up as a loss. Like, that's the reality of it. And I think that you look at Kristen and I specifically, like, we're 2 veterans. She's not as old as I am, but like, we've been through a lot. We've been through some crazy games and we've learned so much about, you could play a horrible game and come out on the winning side. And sometimes hockey does not make sense. And it's infuriating sometimes, but it's the reason that we love the game. And I think that that's why the process is so important, because I don't know what the odds say, but most of the time, if you do things the right way, it's going to turn out in your favor, even when maybe it doesn't look like it might.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.